Hey guys, so this video is actually going to be a review of Revlon's photoready foundation. So this is, I guess it's supposed to be equivalent of like an HD type foundation, but on the bottle it says perfected airbrush skin in any light, complete coverage, oil free and fragrance free. So I picked this up at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is just a national drugstore chain here in Canada, and I believe it was somewhere around $20, which in my opinion is a lot for a drugstore brand foundation. You're getting, 30 milliliters of product or 1 fluid ounce. And that, I believe, is the equivalent of most MAC foundations. So, they obviously think this is some pretty good stuff to price it at that for this amount. But with that said, it's a glass bottle, so, you don't want to be dropping this. Plastic cap. It's nice because it has, the pump top on it. Now, when I picked this up, I did do a swatch of it. Don't know if you're going to be able to see much of it. Now granted, this is the back of my hand, not my face. Hand's a little bit darker. But this is number 8, Golden Beige. So, yeah. I figured, once you blend it in, which I will show you in a second, I'm just kind of like swiping my finger back and forth, doing half of it so you can see. It actually blends away quite nicely. So, there's the remaining bit of it, and on the top of my hand, yeah. So, I figured it'd be a pretty good match. And boy, was I wrong. It actually, the undertone for it is right because it blends so easily, but it was too light for me. And when I put it on, checked the mirror, checked natural light, everything looked fine, but when I took some pictures of it, oh my goodness, it was just this sort of ashy cast. And I can't stand that. So I was like, okay, well, it's too light. So it was actually maybe a week or so later. I didn't run out immediately to get another one. And I picked up number 10, which is caramel, which is, significantly different. It's a little bit darker, but similar undertones. So when I was looking at this one, it looked, pretty dark to me, like too dark, very yellow for me. And again, like even, blending it into my hand, it just seemed, again, the undertone was right, it blended that way, but it's just, you could see it. So, the one in between, number 9, which I think is something ginger, something to that effect, it had more pink tones, which I wasn't really looking for. So I just got 8 and 9 and decided to mix them and play around to see if I couldn't get the right tone. Now, usually I'll do like half a pump of the Golden Beige to, a pump and a half of the caramel, so definitely more of the darker color. And I'm actually pretty happy with the mixture that I get. The tone is good, but I find that sometimes I still have problems in photos with getting this sort of weird, ashy kind of cast. And I'm thinking that it has more to do with the SPF in these than, the tone being so significantly off. Not to say that I didn't need to mix them, because I feel like I did, just to, you know, get a more personalized, customized tone. But SPF in foundation, at least in my experience, and especially with, you know, darker skin tones, it just doesn't photograph well. The flash just bounces right off, you know, the chemical blocks, and you just kind of get this white effect. And it's not radiance, it's not, you know, a highlighting effect. Like, it's not cute. So, yeah. But, you know, aside from that, the formulation is quite nice. It's not too thick, but it's not too runny. You know, if you put it on the back of your hand, like I did to show you, it doesn't slide all over the place. The two colors blend together really well. It applies really nicely. I've used my fingers, and I've used my 109 brush, and I get a good finish either way. I find that, you know, there's no streaking or anything like that, but I will say that you don't need much of it. Whatever you think you need, half it would be my suggestion, because, you know, you get too much on the face, and it's just, you know, you're blending it down and kind of like blotting it to get any excess off, and it's just, yeah, you don't need a whole lot. And if you do need more, then you can add more. But better to, you know, add bit by bit than have to take stuff off. So, I mean, you know, the formulation and application is great. The coverage is good. I would say it's medium coverage, but, you know, with the ability to build up to higher coverages. The finish is kind of, I'd say, satin. It's not full-on, like, dewy, but it's definitely not matte, at least not on me. The longevity, the wear time, it's not terrible, but it's not amazing. But with that said, I've never really had a foundation last forever and ever on me, whether it's because of, you know, my oily center of face or what. But, you know, I can wear it to work. Full day at work, it's fine. You know, if I was going out, yeah, I might not wear it because of the whole photo aspect, but I would feel comfortable going out in it in terms of, like, coverage and looking fine in person. I find, you know, there's sort of like the average transfer that you'll get from a liquid foundation, especially if you're setting it with a powder. Like, there's going to be something that comes off if you're, you know, rubbing your face, or, you know, you've got that white shirt or white scarf. Like, there'll be something. It's definitely not, like, it doesn't set to non-transfer or anything like that. But, you know, by and large, I think it's a pretty decent foundation. My two main concerns with it are, one, the lack of colors, but I do understand it's a new formulation, so, you know, Revlon's not going to put out a ton of shades if, you know, they're not sure how it's going to sell. The second thing is the SPF. Now, I mean, SPF is awesome. You know, you should be wearing it every day, but I know for myself personally, I'm better off applying it separately, whether it's part of my primer, if I'm using a primer, or if it's my sunscreen or part of my moisturizer. It does better that way, especially when photography comes into it, because it just, for me, this just reflects white, which is, again, in my opinion, not cute. And the last thing is the price. You know, again, it's a good foundation. I don't think it's worth $20 Canadian. You know, certainly if you're in the States and you can hit up one of those buy one, get one free sales at, you know, CVS or Walgreens or whatever, I would definitely check it out then, because it's definitely worth $10 or whatever. I mean, I'd say I'd probably pay $15 for it, but yeah, that's just me. So that's my take on Revlon's photoready foundation, and again I use a mix of number 8 in golden beige, number 10 in caramel, and mix them to get, you know, my own custom shade. And that's it. So if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll leave all the relevant information in the sidebar. And take care. Yeah.